The early 2000s brought us a lot of great kung fu movies such as Kill Bill, The Matrix, or even Karate Dog. But what I'm here to talk about today is Stephen Chow's Shaolin Soccer. It's a movie about a couple of lost souls who once knew kung fu, a nice lady working a dead-end job, and also fireballs. And while this may seem like a piece of early 2000s garbage, it actually has a compelling storyline with well-written characters following a good versus evil storyline. So without further interruptions, let's begin. The movie begins in the Chinese Super Cup final with the younger version of Feng, also known as Golden Leg. He is left with the game-winning penalty in which he misses, leaving his team eliminated and missing out on the trophy. In the celebrations following, Golden Leg gets attacked and beaten up by a mob. This results in the player being forced to retire early. In a clean transition that follows, a player known as Hung is seen laughing as he is followed by paparazzi saying he's won the Super Cup 5 years in a row. This is about 20 years following the penalty miss. Then we see the Golden Leg post-injury. Here he is seen limping as he goes towards Hung, who then proceeds to clean his shoe over his head. After, he says he's ready to coach his own team that will be as good as Team Evil. Hyung denies him, saying that his tattoo is all the fame that he has left of him. Hyung then asks why he is receiving this treatment despite serving him for 20 years. As Hyung is walking away, Hyung says that Hung set him up with a bad check that told him to miss a penalty on purpose. Hyung then hits him with the heartbreaking truth that he hired the mob to break his leg 20 years ago. As Hyung realizes that greediness got the better of him and potentially ruined his life, he is left nothing but hysterical. He is seen laughing and limping away. As Hyung is on the street watching a game, a kung fu master stops him to give him a cool lecture and to preach him about his kung fu. Then he hands him a business card which shows his name is the Mighty Steel Leg and also sharing where he was trained. Steel Leg then gives the early 2000s poor CGI intro about his kung fu, also known as Shaolin. Frustrated by this, Feng throws his can at him which leaves him to kick it to the stars. Unimpressed, Hyung leaves. Steel Leg continues journeying across the city where he eventually meets this girl selling bread. Her bread is made using her knowledge of kung fu. Steel Leg then notices this and shows off his wrist game. After a bit of dialogue, a typical 2000-esque dance scene begins. After the lady joins, she is then told off by her boss who hands her the shoes Steel Leg left behind. While still promoting his kung fu, Steel Leg runs into First Brother, aka Ironhead, who is a toilet cleaner now. Ironhead then gets in trouble with his boss for forgetting to book a band for the night, so then he improvises by stating he's gonna combine kung fu and singing. But I'm a creep. No, but seriously, they got jumped for being so bad. And now back to Feng. He found the can kicked by Steel Leg earlier and decides to try to pull it out. In doing so, the wall falls down, revealing Steel Leg about to get jumped by 6 people. The same 6 people who jumped him earlier in the bar. He then fights them off with what I can describe as peak 2000 CGI. Feng then finds Steel Leg and approaches him proposing the idea that they can spread kung fu with soccer. Steel Leg then tracks down the lady, then asks for his shoes back so he can play, which she agrees to. She kept them, stating that she couldn't bring herself to throw them away. Steel Leg then finds out about the Chinese Super Cup and tries to recruit his brothers to play with him. It's a tournament with the grand prize of $1 million. He tries tracking down First Brother, known as Ironhead, and tries convincing him, but he begs him to leave him alone. He then asks for Second Brother Empty Hand, who also tells him to leave him alone. Third Brother Iron Shirt also says no, and Fourth Brother Lightweight also says no. Also, Fifth Brother is Steel Leg. He also has Sixth Brother Hooking Leg, who says no. It seemed that their attempt to make a team for the Super Cup was useless. But that was until First Brother gets scolded by his boss. He then decides to look at his old kung fu photo, which all the other brothers do. The brothers then meet him unexpectedly on the roof in an epic sequence. Although the meetup was cool, after the first training session where they ran around like headless chickens, it's clear they needed work. After doing a bit of drills, they eventually play their first scrimmage. And while it seems rather normal at first, it turns out they were thugs. But it low-key did give us some prime 2000 CGI. I mean, is this really necessary? They obviously wanted to quit, and honestly I don't blame them, but it also gave us this funny scene. They eventually do surrender, but it's way too late. After, they make them wear underwear on their head to humiliate them. However, all this humiliation did was leave them all more motivated and focused to win. This left them to unlock their inner peace. The other team sees this and attempts to tackle them with no success. The real action begins here though, as they all go Super Saiyan. I can't even list what's happening anymore. Lightweight then proceeds to disobey the laws of physics. And more 2000 CGI is shown on display. They eventually do win over the other team's respect, however, making them bow down to them to apologize. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, Team Evil is seen training in their high-tech facilities as they prepare to win the Super Cup for a 6th year in a row. The Team Evil coach Hyung then gets a call that the Shaolins are trying to join the open tournament. Hyung then laughs in their face as they introduce themselves. He also makes them clean his shoes to sign up for the tournament. Steelleg then shows off his Riz game again as he takes the ladies shopping, except they're only allowed to look. The Shaolins prepare to play their first game of the tournament after getting kicked out of the store, getting laughed at by their first opponents. And after Ironhead gets booked immediately for smoking, the game finally commences with the Shaolins scoring straight off of kickoff. After giving the ball away immediately, the Shaolins then make it 2-0 off of kickoff again. More 2000 CGI is on display again as they score again and again, winning 40-0. Into their second game, and they don't slow down and win again. And again in the third. And again in the fourth with this super memed goal. The lady then gets a makeover by this odd looking fella. The Shaolins have also become superstars, winning over a shoe deal. After basically trashing Puma, they then toss their old shoes at the bread shop where they run into the girl who is now completely unrecognizable. After this long dialogue, they then go and continue the tournament. But here is where I stop and tell you to go watch the movie after this video. Due to restrictions, I wasn't able to go into even 10% of the sheer amount of depth in this movie, but there are so many different character arcs, and honestly you should just go watch the movie. Now in the semifinals, the Shaolins face their toughest opponents yet, an undefeated team of bearded magic woman. But as the keeper denies all their shots, he then super throws it into the opponent's goal, where they will now face Team Evil in the final. This clip was cut for some reason, so I had to get it from a second source, but basically the Evil coach tried bribing Hyung into forfeiting the final. Already coming this far, Hyung was determined to win the cup with his team. Finally, they set out to face Team Evil in the Chinese Super Cup final. With the initial kickoff going to the Shaolins, a tight but explosive beginning sees them one-on-one with Team Evil's keeper, with obviously more 2000 CGI to display. After a lot of CGI attempts, it looks like Team Evil just can't score after it keeps being rolled out to them. And this is where the movie starts to spiral out of control. Looks like Team Evil bought the teleporting DLC. Team Evil also took the Liver King juice. This supplement nearly caught the goalkeeper lacking as he threw it across the field. And the CGI shot sends the keeper flying into the crossbar with more fireballs. And his clothes and gloves get shredded through. After attempted murder from Team Evil, he decides to commit real murder. I mean, look at this. This is just an execution at this point. Obviously, the keeper's left unable to continue. He gets saluted by his teammates. Ironhead's exposed as a fraud. Lightweight defies the laws of physics again. And finally, halftime's called. And while the team begs for mercy, Golden Leg gives a Coach Carter speech as the second half begins. Their defensive wall formation is broken like Lego bricks, and their keeper is basically killed after calling his wife to say "I love you." Even with the CGI shots, Team Evil can't seem to score as Iron Shirt sends out a belly-filled cannonball across the field, which sets up a bicycle kick for number 10. This CGI kick then defies the laws of physics twice. On the other end though, the deadlock is still not broken as the keeper is basically killed again. The referee then says he'll call off the game if they don't get more players since they're out of CGI warriors. Then out of nowhere, the bread lady comes back looking like Prime KSI, saying that she'll play. It doesn't start well though, as she starts on the wrong side. But eventually the game gets underway, except she immediately passes it to them, and then makes a good save with what I can only describe as peak 2000 CGI. And then gets a CGI assist. The evil coach falls, and the Shaolins are champions. That's not it with all the movie shenanigans though. It looks like now, in this world, Shaolin Kung Fu's become a daily part of life. And that's the movie. Being all over the place, yet remaining in the same plotline is probably what makes this movie so good. A movie about betrayal, kung fu, and soccer, Shaolin soccer somehow manages to have super underlying roots, with poverty, how outcasts of society are treated, and how a job can slowly kill you and mistreat you. And on top of all of that, it's just a good watch in general. Do I really think it's the best kung fu movie of all time? Yes. Overall though, the movie did super good in the box office, making a lot of profit. Obviously, I have no claim of ownership, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment what you think of the movie.